mainly learned about Anaththa through diluted Western Dhamma and its corruptions pushing secular mindfulness. What is the authentic understanding of Anaththa? Anaththan Asarakattenathi. That is how it's explained in Tripitaka. Anaththa Asara. In Western books, they try to explain Anaththa as no self or other in different ways. I don't really know the different meanings they have given. The only I know one meaning they have given is no self. Whether there is a self or no self has nothing to do with the Lord Buddha's theory or Buddhism. That is not the argument. The argument from Lord Buddha was Paticca Samuppada or cause and effect theory was his theory. So whether there is a self or no self were arguments that were there before Lord Buddha. So and then whether there is a self or no self is not going to stop the suffering, right? If someone says there is no self, then who's the one who's suffering? Then you come into this question: who? Then who is suffering? If you say there is no self, then who is suffering? If you say there is a self, then the problem comes. How can you get rid of the self then? If there is a self, that means there is a self. You can't do anything about it, kind of thing. So these arguments are the arguments that will never end. Sastratavada and Uchchedavada. These are the two ends that we should not follow. So Anaththa, the real meaning of Anaththa is valueless. There is no point, and it has a link. It's not just, it's connected. Anicca, Dukkha and Anaththa are connected. So anything, you look at anything, you see anything, you hear anything, you smell anything, you taste anything, you touch anything, you think about anything, it will be Anicca, Dukkha and Anaththa. It will end up that way. So that is the reason why we shouldn't attach to this world, and we shouldn't be traveling through this samsara cycle. It doesn't make sense. That is the whole point. So what happens is anicca. When one understands about the anicca, not being able to fulfill, right? Say if you're seeing something, because these are the worlds, right? This is the world. There is an inner world and the outer world. Inner world is you, as in eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. And the outer world are what you take in from the six senses. So sounds, vision, touch, smell, blah blah blah. So when you look at this, if you can fulfill, then there is no problem. But you cannot fulfill. From the eye, we have been trying to fulfill the eye for our life. If you don't want to go back to the previous lives, even throughout this life, we are not satisfied. And from the nose, the smell, we haven't satisfied the nose. We haven't satisfied the taste. We haven't satisfied the sounds, the ear. So that is the problem. So that is a problem. So that is what anicca is. Then what happens is that is a suffering, because it will never fulfill. So if something doesn't happen, if we are trying to fulfill something that will never fulfill, that is a suffering. And we are trying to fulfill from the outside, which is the worst thing, because there is no asada in the outside. But people assume that there is asada from outside, which has been created from the mind. I am going through like a summary, the whole concept of anicca, dukkha, anatta, which is also very good. So then, if something is anicca and dukkha, then it is a a pointless process, which means Anaththa. Anaththa Asarakattenathi. And another meaning is Anartha. Artha is the meaning. Anartha is the opposite of, there is no meaning of doing this. We are just suffering for nothing, really. So that is what happens. When one understands this properly, when one gets this installed, then they turn around. This is not this is not the right way. This is not what I should be doing. Then they turn around and then start walking the path towards Nibbhana, getting rid of this, putting a stop to it. So when I say putting a stop is, so we will get to that this actually in here in my discourse today, which is good as well. It is connected to this as well. So is that explanation enough for now? I think we are coming back to this as well in detail in the experiment that Tathagatan Wahanse did. So Sambodha Sutra. If that's enough, then okay, that's great.